Joe Dimeo suffered a terrible accident that left him without a face or hands.
I was calling home from work from a night shift, and I guess I fell asleep on the steering wheel and just rolled off the road, and my car flipped and caught on fire. I was in a coma for like 3.5 months, and then like an extra month just waking up and like trying to like exercise a little bit, and then to rehab for 2 more months.
The fact that Joe was alive was already a complete miracle, but what would become his rehabilitation story completely shocked the entire scientific community.
He had had numerous operations, probably over 20, of his face and his hands, and they began to entertain the possibility of a face transplant or hand transplant. And I think the main issues were that he was essentially a functional cripple. He was completely dependent on care from his parents, and this was a young, motivated person that really was independent until this particular time.
The idea of the face transplant had brought hope, but turning it into a reality seemed like an almost impossible mission.
Now, he's an excellent candidate, but that does not mean it's going to be easy to find a donor for him. When we look at Joe's PRA, which stands for panel reactive antibody, his PRA was 94%. He essentially had a 6% chance of identifying someone that would be a proper donor for him. That is very difficult to find. We're basically looking for a needle in a haystack.
There were only 2 cases where this had been attempted, a face transplant and a double hand transplant. The news wasn't good. Both had failed completely. One patient died of complications, and the other had to have his hands removed. So if this operation were successful, it could even be considered a miracle of science.
Commonly, when we perform these operations and we're about to take on a major task, we have an opportunity to visit the community. And what we felt today was very positive energy and something that's very important for us to be successful. And this will be my 4th transplant, and Joe is a challenging case. There have only been 2 attempts in the world to do a face and bilateral hand transplants, and they have been unsuccessful. So they know what they're getting into.
The search for a donor was really intense, but the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic cut Joe's dream short for months, the one where he'd get a new life. However, just when many had given up hope, a light appeared.
For these gifts to happen to Joe, unfortunately someone has to pass, but we've been very fortunate to have a remarkable match.
The family and the medical team were excited, but of course, there was still that bit of worry. This was a really complicated surgery, but it would completely change Joe's life.
What I told my team is exactly what I felt. We've rehearsed for this operation, we're ready. We all know what we need to do, and we will be successful.
The dangerous operation would last 23 hours. The result? One that marked a turning point in the history of health sciences. However, of course, even though it appeared to be a success, the doctors preferred not to get ahead of themselves.
We try to minimize those potential complications, but getting through the first 3 months is critical. Most of the patients throughout the world that have had a hand or a face transplant commonly have an episode of acute rejection within the first 3 months.
However, what happened with Joe was truly miraculous. His response to the transplant had been very positive, and little by little, he was showing that he was ready to fully go back to the life he had before the accident.
Down, up, down, up. That's great. So Joe, you know what we're doing today? We're going to kind of liberate you so we can let you look in the mirror. You have a big smile. See everything starting to move? Isn't that great? Open your mouth real wide. Good. Close your teeth. Open your eyes real wide.
His recovery and rehabilitation is amazing, and thanks to the tireless work of the doctors, little by little, he is starting to be himself again, and to get back the feelings that he had lost in his face and hands.
And my face has come back pretty quickly. I can feel it when it's wet and hot and cold so far. I can feel when someone touches it. It's really it's like surprising for me when something new touches it, or I touch something new and I can feel it for the first time.
The story of Joe Dimeo and his recovery has all the ingredients to be told in a film. He survived a tragic accident and became the first person in the world to successfully receive a face and hand transplant.
As soon as I saw it for the first time, my face reveal, I was like, this is my face now. I just went along with it.
The truth is that none of this could have been possible without the help of the doctors who were in charge, nor without the donor who, after his death, gave Joe a new chance at life.
I'm very grateful for them to, give this gift to me. I don't really know how to thank someone that, gives you a second chance at life.
For Joe and his family, all of this meant getting a second chance to go on living a normal life and rebuild what the accident had completely destroyed.
When you see your son's new face, can you even describe what that is like?
From the moment on, when we walked into the room after the operation, that's him now.
That's the new Joe.